Hi, I'm back. Uh, Now let us learn on how to perform Qspm. So this is the table that you need to prepare in order for you to do the Qspm analysis for your organization. And in this video, we are going to perform Qspm for this particular company, XYZ. So the first step in the QSPM, like I have already explained in the previous video, is that you need to list all of the key SWOT. And these key SWOT or the key factors should be the exact same key factors that you have used in your EFE and IFE analysis. EFE and also your IFE analysis. So you can see here the exact same strengths, the exact same weaknesses, the exact same opportunities and the exact same threats that you need to list in your QSPM table. So that is the first step. So the second step involve identifying the weight, and these weights are also exactly the same weights that you have given in your IFE as well as your EFE analysis. So we use the same weights that we have given for each of these key factors under IFE as well as your EFE analysis. So the same key factors and the same weights that we take directly from our EFE and also IFE analysis. So the third step is for you to identify or determine your strategic alternatives. So in the previous topic, IE metrics, we have come to the conclusion that the organization should pursue either a market penetration or a product development strategy. So we may want to suggest actionable strategies that the organization should take. As for this example, we have suggest for this company to open 3 more branches as part of their market penetration strategy. And for the product development, we suggest that the organization should introduce a much healthier menu. So you can see that these two strategies are distinct and exclusive from one another. That is the third step in QSPM. The fourth step, you need to determine your attractiveness score. So in this column, the third column, you need to determine your attractiveness score for each of these variables. And there are certain rankings that we must follow. And in the previous video, I have already highlighted, we need to rank between 1 to 4, 1 as being not attractive and 4 as being highly attractive. So what you need to do is that you need to go through each of these variable one by one and then try and give them a rank between 1 to 4 for each of these strategy. So for example, for brand recognition, by opening up 3 more branches, we find that it is somewhat attractive. So we give them a score of 2. For product development, introducing a much healthier menu, we scored them a 4. And because we find that it is highly attractive for the company. By introducing a much more healthier menu, this might give a better impact to the brand recognition of this particular company. So you need to do this for each of these variable. And you can see some dashes here, and that indicate that if the key factor has no effect for that particular strategy, so we don't give any rating for the attractiveness score. You can just simply put a dash and for that particular key variable. So you are going to do this for the strengths and then for the weaknesses, as well as for the opportunities and also the threats. Yes, it is possible that for the key variable that we have identified might not have any score, and for both of the strategies like this one, government regulations and policy has got nothing to do with opening up 3 more branches or even introducing a much healthier menu. So we don't give them any score at all. So that is step number 4. Step number 5, you just need to multiply your weight and also your attractiveness score in order for you to obtain your total attractiveness score. So how do I get zero point 0.3 here? And it is just simply multiplication between the weight of brand recognition 0.15 times 2. So this will give you a zero point 0.3. And for strategy number 2, 0.15 times 4, this will give you a zero point 0.6. So you need to do this multiplication for each of these variable between the weights and also the attractiveness score for the respective strategy. That will complete your step number 5. And in the final step, you need to add all of these values, the total attractiveness score for each of these variable, inclusive of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is the score that we want to evaluate at the end of the Qspm process. So the final stage is for you to determine the sum of the total attractiveness score. Like I said, you need to add the total attractiveness score for each strategy column of the Qspm, and we have done that. And then this step will reveal which strategy is the most attractive in each set of alternative. Higher scores indicate more attractive strategies by considering all the relevant internal and external factors. So how do we make the conclusion? Based on the Qspm scores, the most feasible strategic option that XYZ company should pursue based on its operating environment is option 2, product development. The company should introduce a much healthier menu option as the TAS score for this strategic option is 4.05 as compared to 2.15 product market development, no, I'm sorry, market penetration strategy to open 3 more branches for the company. So based on the TAS scores between the strategic alternative, the organization now will be informed on which strategy that they should pursue first. And the highest priority should be given based on the ranking of the TAS score for each of the alternative strategy. The, the highest TS score is the best choice given your organization's internal and external operating environment. So that's how you derive to the final conclusion when you have more options. You have a much more complex QSPM analysis, but by performing this QSPM analysis, at least the organization incorporating the element of scientific and the artistic element into the decision making. We are not going to make a decision based on our intuition and our experience and our gut feeling alone, but we perform certain procedures in order for us to arrive to that final conclusion. So I would like to say thank you so much for watching all of our videos in this micro credential course, UMC 146. I hope that you learned something from all of the videos that we have shared, and I hope that you learn the right way on how to identify strategy on how to perform your IFE and EFE, and how to determine in terms of which region that your company falls under the quadrants of IE metrics, and finally on how to choose the right strategy for your organization. With that, I thank you. Thank you for watching.